Hello Internet, John Barnwell here with John Barnwell's Handcrafted Knives YouTube station. I put a short video of my homemade die filer on a couple days ago, and I didn't know what one of these was a few months ago, maybe a year ago. And there are all kinds of die filers, and they're kind of obsolete. You just don't see, you can't just go out and buy a new one. There are kits that you can buy, Hemingway kits. There's different people. You go on the internet and just type in die filer. So here's one version. I think this may be a die cast kit that you can buy. Here's another old unit, die filer. Not sure what brand. Again, just type in the word die. I believe this right here is the one that ClickSpring does. I think it's possibly a Hemingway kit. Not sure. There's all kinds of kits, and here's the one that I built. It's not the one that I built, but it's a picture of one similar. This is the plans that I went by. So just all types of die filers that you can find on the internet. So this one worked out good for me, just using bar stock, and it was very economical to build. So, and this is simply a Swiss file that's attached. And this one actually, this unit, I made this unit out of bar stock. There's aluminum, brass, and mild steel involved in this, and I put a Singer sewing machine on here as the motor source. But this file, I've got a set screw in here, and it's 832, and that set screw, when you loosen it, the file comes out. And this is actually a triangular Swiss file. You can see, I believe you can see where it was actually made in Switzerland. And you can't get these anymore but from one company, and it's a company called, you can see right there, it says Falcon Company. They're the only ones on the planet that I know of that have these files, and I don't know if they have any more. When I looked trying to find this type of file, which is actually made specifically for the die filer, because it only cuts on the downstroke. In other words, whenever you've got this file and the motor's turning it, it's going up and down, up and down. It's not cutting on the upstroke, because if it did, it would push your material up, whatever you're working with, up here on the top. And I'll zoom you in here in just a minute and show you this little table that we've got. It's not very big, but what I do is I use it to cut the back square into a knife blade, and it's very handy. You can use it for a lot of things. But I actually put a sewing machine pedal on, because this is a sewing machine motor, and I can run this fast or slow. You've seen it running in my little short video, just flying. And that was about half speed. You can run it slow or fast, but it's a very handy tool. It's called a die filer. I found a set of plans on the internet a gentleman had. I can't remember, but if you just, I'll have some pictures here in a minute that you can look at. There's different types of die filers. And let me bring you in a little closer to look around this thing. You can see this little table here. Here's your file. I've mounted it on a piece of walnut, and I machined all these different parts. As you can see, we've got circular motion that's causing vertical motion. See the brass block that's coming through? Circular motion creating vertical motion. You see where each one of these blocks has a brass bushing that I made and put inside of them. And this guy that I got these plans from, it's free download on the internet. You can, it's not near as easy to use the other type files. So if you do make one of these machines, I advise you to get in touch with the Falcon Company and order. They're not cheap. The little file is not cheap, but it is a very good file and worth the money. So when I found this set of free plans, I went and got a little bit of aluminum from my buddies down at Crossville Metal Fabricators, and I had some of the parts. I had the old sewing machine motor, and I set out to make this thing took me a couple of weeks, but you'll find if you go on there and find this particular set of plans, he's got every size screw that you need, the length, the pitch, the thread type. It's if you've got machinery, if you've got a lathe and a milling machine, it's not a hard machine to make. And of course there are other ones that run inside oil. This one, I actually put an oiler. You can see right here, there's a little bitty oiler right there, and you can buy these oilers to put them in because there's a pulley turning right here and the shaft is going through. So I usually just put some whale oil inside there, 3-in-1, whatever, and I oil it right here where it's coming up and down here in this bushing. So it works really good, and that's a tool that I use quite often. And again, it's not something that you can just go buy. You have to build one or find an old one on the internet or buy a kit and build one. So I chose to use bar stock because it's readily available and it was a lot cheaper. So it worked great for me. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you learned something. I know I have. Thanks. Talking about the back square of a pocket knife blade is this area right here. And it's very easy to cut in with this die filer using this machine, or you can do it by hand, but this makes it so much easier once you get the hang of using it. The die filer is very handy, and you can use it for a lot of other things too, but it's very handy for the back square, or the run up, some people call it, where this back spring runs into the blade. Very handy for that, because you're constantly having to go back and forth from your rise and fall gauge and adjust, cut a little bit off to get it tuned in, get the knife tuned in on your ripple gauge or rise and fall gauge. So hope that helps somebody. Check out some die filers on the internet, or make your own.